Hi, we're going to talk about moral future of what may be Utah's fastest growing town, Cedar Hills. June 28th, there will be a referendum, two propositions. One would ban any sale of alcohol at all, and the second would force almost all businesses. They'd make an exception for old people's homes and TV and stuff, but almost all businesses to close on Sunday. On my far right, Mrs. Sherelle Bowman, who is against the proposition, and seated next to her, Eric Richardson, also against both propositions. Seated on my left, Mr. Ken Cromar. All of these are residents of Cedar Hills. He is one of the people who's pushed this proposition. And seated next to him, Gary Duncan, who is the president of the coalition in favor of both of these propositions. We have a story explaining some background, and we'll play that now. Cedar Hills, a quiet suburban town in the northeast corner of Utah County, was not a town but all farmland 40 years ago. On June 28th, the citizens of the new and growing town will vote on town morals, a measure that would ban all sales of alcohol, including beer in grocery stores, and would also force all businesses to close on Sunday.
We're simply trying to preserve the peace, tranquility, and family values of Cedar Hills.
A citizens group first proposed the no alcohol Sunday closing ordinance to the City Council. In part, the ordinance proposal came in response to a possibility that Smith's would open a big grocery store on this field. Most big Utah grocery stores sell beer and are open on Sunday.
This land is right across from a high school, and right behind it is a steak center. And then on the other side is an elementary school.
Making sure that alcohol is not sold between an elementary school and a high school. It's a no-brainer.
There's increasing crime, there's increase in emergency accidents.
Some citizens and officials said the ordinance would harm the community and infringe freedom.
When you start placing a lot of restrictions on businesses, they're less likely to want to come in.
To be able to shop right on the corner, not just for groceries, but for gas, maybe some fast food.
The feedback that I'm getting suggests that they also believe that those choices are best left to be personal choices rather than legislated by the government.
The council rejected the restrictive ordinance. Then, the citizens for the ordinance gathered signatures on a petition and forced the measure to a vote of the people, trying to override the elected officials. Smith's decided its plans were too controversial and withdrew entirely from Cedar Hills. The neighboring towns of Highland and Alpine have already banned alcohol. Very few businesses are located in Cedar Hills now, but the ordinance would require them and any new businesses to close on Sunday.
If it's open on Sundays, then the people who are willing to work on Sundays will get the jobs over us.
If you've ever driven the streets of Cedar Hills on a Sunday, it's like this. Can you hear the birds sing? That's where we'd like to have it stay.
We're going to have a debate on those two ordinances, and I'm going to begin by asking the proponents. Let's start with alcohol. Why should Cedar Hills ban alcohol? Mr. Cromar.
The fact of the matter is that Cedar Hill wouldn't be banning alcohol so much as codifying the situation that we have right now. We don't even sell alcohol and just want to keep it that way.
You don't have a store there now.
That's
you don't
right.
sell anything.
That's right.
Nothing
is
sold in Cedar
what
Hills.
we've got.
No,
That's
you
right.
don't. You'd like it if people sold food, right, or gasoline.
Right.
So you don't want to maintain the situation. You just want everything to come in except booze.
Here's the situation.
Okay.
We elected 3 new officials and put in a new mayor here in just the last recent months. And what happened is they promised us that they would support the Sunday closure, and in the case of the mayor specifically, he said no alcohol. And what they did is they immediately went and turned that upside down when they were threatened by Smith's.
Well, now, okay, but they're not threatened anymore. Smith's is gone. They're out of there.
Therefore, to make sure that the community of Cedar Hills gets to keep what its substance and what it is, we're going to take that to an election and get that voted in.
Fundamental to the identity of Cedar Hills. You can sell food, you can sell newspapers, you can sell clothes,
watch TV.
You can sell cars. You can't sell beer. That's fundamental. Cedar Hills wouldn't be Cedar Hills if lips that touch liquor ever touched the people of Cedar Hills.
We know that that's the case because we went door to door and found out that 80% of the citizens want these bans.
Okay, let me ask the two people who are opposed to this. What's wrong with this idea? First, is Cedar Hills somehow, is the essence of Cedar Hills somehow that no beer should be sold in Cedar Hills. You sell a can of beer, and Cedar Hills isn't Cedar Hills anymore.
Not at all. These initiatives would not change the behavior of citizens. Those who consume alcohol will continue to consume alcohol. Those who don't will continue not to.
Okay, now I happen to drink beer. And if I were to live in Cedar Hills, when I went to the grocery store, I'd buy a 6-pack. But my guess is about me, I'd buy less because I'd get to the store less. That's my guess. My guess is I'd drink a little less with this ordinance than I would if I had the ordinance. Might be good for me, I don't know.
Might be good for you, but it probably wouldn't change your behavior. You'd probably buy your beer when you go to the grocery store.
I would certainly buy the beer. It wouldn't stop me from drinking beer.
No, it wouldn't.
But I
important,
might drink a little less.
More important, it would not change your immoral activities. What is immoral? Well, drinking beer is not immoral. What is
I'm
immoral?
glad to hear you believe that. Okay.
Driving under the influence, youth consumption, alcohol abuse, those are immoral. We are concerned about those, and we do want to prohibit those, but having a beer after work, that's not immoral activity, and that should not be regulated by government.
You're a mom, aren't you, Mrs. Mom? Okay, and this would be, you have schools and churches?
Definitely.
Do you really want to be selling beer and with your children right there in the community?
I have my own set of values, which I choose to teach my children. I grew up in Orem, a city that does allow alcohol sales and Sunday operations, and I don't feel like I was raised less holy in a city like that. I was raised with values that would uphold refraining from drinking alcohol and from not shopping on Sundays. And the thing that scares me is that it could scare off potential stores from coming by setting these bans.
Okay, you've already scared off Smith's,
concern.
maybe. Maybe you've already scared off
Exactly.
Smith's. Okay,
Exactly.
and okay, now why do you want to scare off stores? I mean, why does that fear you?
I don't want to be a city's tax base.
Okay.
First off, I think our city really needs it. I want youth programs. I want a library. I want Cedar Hills to be a city that I feel I can set up my home and stay there.
And if you have beer, your taxes will be lower because stores will move in. If you don't have beer, your taxes will be higher because stores won't move in. That's your thinking.
That is the fear, and I think it's been shown with Smith's getting ran off.
Mr. Duncan, do you fear that, or do you care if your taxes are a little higher because stores don't move in?
Well, we don't think that's really the issue because we know that stores will come into Cedar Hills. They will build and develop that area. We'll have a grocery store. We'll have gas stations. We've already had major stores that have their financing in place, are ready to do the proposals and build in Cedar Hills. We'll get the tax base. We don't have to compromise our standards and what the people want in order to get those tax dollars.
That's not the case, but that's not even the issue. It's not up to the city to decide which store comes in. It acts as if that's the city's role to be playing broker on this. That's not their role. It's just the role of the property owner to be able to develop their property.
Do you think it's fair to have a store come in to a community that does not respect the values of the citizens but wants to profit thereby? To me, and to the majority of the citizens in Cedar Hills, it's a reasonable thing to expect the people that want to profit by us to respect our values. It's pretty simple.
We'll never know whether Smith was willing to respect the values. They were ran out of town before that ever came before the city's council.
I beg to differ. They weren't run out of town. What they did was they ran a poll, a Dan Jones poll, called up many residents of the community and found out that the citizens did not want alcohol and did not want a Sunday opening, and then they
But
left.
they didn't know the full picture.
Okay.
If they would have phrased it as you're going to lose Smith's in any potential store.
Here, now wait a minute.
may
We're
have
arguing
said
about money,
differently.
and that's a good time here. We're going to make
Commercial.
some money right now. We're going to take a commercial break. Our number is 973-3144. If you want to talk about the Sunday closing ordinance and the no liquor sales proposals for Cedar Hills, 973-3144. We'll be back right after this. We are back with Gary Duncan and Ken Cromar. They're two men who want two ordinances in Cedar Hills. One would ban alcohol sales and the other would force all businesses to close on Sunday. And over here we have Eric Richardson and Sherelle Bowman, and they're two citizens who think that's a terrible idea, and they'll be voting against both of them. Mark, you're on the air. Your question, please.
Yeah, hi, I'd like to ask both parties what the additional benefit to Cedar Hills would be if, one, we impose the bans, and on the other side, if we just leave things the same. what the additional benefit will be to the Cedar Hills residents. Thanks.
What's the benefit of imposing the ban?
We can maintain the quality of life, the quiet, peaceful environment, and it's something that we don't have to give up in order to have the benefits of commercial development in our town.
Okay, you're saying you guys are conservative in the sense that you want to keep the good stuff you got.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
the idea. You don't say imposing this ban is going to make things better. You're going to stay as sweet as you are.
Don't want to change a thing. Just keep
Well,
what it
now
was
you do want to change.
Well,
You want to bring in gas stations.
Oh, well,
and-
sure, but-
okay. Maybe a Walmart. I don't know. Okay, you want to bring in stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but alcohol is a heavy price for us to pay because the vast majority of the community doesn't drink. Why should we pay the price in terms of social problems and accidents,
police
costs, public
costs, et cetera.
safety, health
You bet.
issues?
Okay, tell Mark.
If I might comment, if you said the majority don't drink, then I don't understand why this is being such a big issue. If the majority choose not to shop on Sunday and choose not to buy alcohol, why are we really concerned about this?
pretty easy
Voting
to
no
answer.
does not mean that you have to start drinking alcohol, that you have to take up a habit that you've never had before.
Okay, but now they say social problems, and it is certainly true.
Absolutely.
Guys get drunk, they get in fights, they drive, drunk guys make trouble. You'll agree to that, right?
Absolutely, and we don't want that in our community.
Okay.
Rod?
But there are better ways of controlling those negative social ills than an outright prohibition.
Rod.
Very quick.
Very quick. This coalition, or this group over here, they invited out Richard Nance, Utah County Division of Substance Abuse, to come and speak to the community. He's the director. He said there'd be virtually no impact on the community if alcohol were introduced. On the very same table that he brought this document called Alcohol, Straight Facts, Serious Dangers. Let me just say one more thing. He said, it says that half of all crimes have alcohol
I think you're
involved.
quoting him out of severe
It's right here.
misconduct.
Okay, he
It's
gets
right
a
here.
chance to talk. Okay, go quick.
You know, the thing is that certainly there are alcohol-related crimes, but that is not linked to responsible consumption by private individuals. And what he said is that selling in the community will not change those negative social ills. That there are
Okay.
better ways of handling that.
Ann, you're on the air. Your question, please.
Well, I think it would be hard to separate any sale of beer from some of the safety concerns that some of us have. So I'd like to just address the issue of Sunday openings. I grew up non-LDS. I joined the church as a young adult. I've been on both sides of the fences. I guess I'm just wondering when being the predominant religious body becomes the dominant society that then governs everything.
Okay. I'll ask him to respond to that. Okay, I don't live in Cedar Hills, but I look at this and I say a lot of what's at stake here is there are LDS people who are in the majority, and these are to some extent LDS standards. Do you, Ann said this is predominant to dominant, that LDS people are trying to dominate the community. Would you comment on that?
I would definitely agree. I think some may want to say it isn't coming down to a religious issue, but I think that is the motives. Many of us, I will say for myself, I am a member of the dominant religion, so I would hate to say it is the dominant religion against the less dominant religion, because
okay, now
that
if
isn't
you
the
phrase
case
it
in our
that way, you
side.
guys lose. Almost everybody in Cedar Hills is a Mormon, right?
Well, Mormons believe in a lot of things, not just not consuming alcohol. They also believe in tolerance, openness, and being friendly to their neighbors.
Right.
If these initiatives pass, that would send a negative message, a strong message that we don't want sent.
When you say this is the essence of Cedar Hills, is the essence of Cedar Hills somehow connected to the fact that almost everybody who lives there is a member of the LDS Church?
We don't think of it that way because these are issues that affect everyone. By passing these ordinances, people who drink would be benefited by maintaining the quality environment that we have. Reducing the crime, these are things that everybody benefits from. And these benefits come to all. It doesn't matter religion.
Well, Gary had it right when he said they affect everyone. It certainly affects everyone. It affects those who want to be able to purchase alcohol. It affects those who want a vibrant commercial zone. It does have an effect on everyone. The question is whether that effect is positive or not. I believe it is not.
Okay. Tara, you're on the air. Your question, please. Okay, we're getting Tara. Tara, are you there? Your question, please. Tara, are you there? Your question, please. Okay, your question, please. Say your question, Tara.
Since there are cities and counties across the country,
Just say it.
across the country who prohibit alcohol sales,
Say it. You got to turn down your TV. I think we're going to move on here, Tara. I'm sorry.
May
Okay.
I just offer a thought?
Okay.
There is not one person who moved to Cedar Hills because of the availability of alcohol or for the ability to shop on retail on Sunday. We've never had it.
But we've
keep-
always wanted it.
Please let me finish. Tolerance, tolerance, tolerance is what people keep saying, and the point is that no one's rights would be taken away. Nobody moved to Cedar Hills for those things.
Are you trying to make a place that isn't very welcoming to non-Mormons?
Absolutely not.
Not the
It
case.
sounds as if you are.
No.
No,
When
not at all.
the fact of the matter is that 92% at least, if not 95 to 90%, 97% of the community is LDS.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to apologize for that.
No,
My
no
great
need
great
to.
great granddaddy came as a pioneer.
Okay.
For the religious freedom. And what happens is that the naysayers say, listen, you can't have an opinion if there's any religion in it at all. And they completely discount the opinion because
There
there's
is
any
some
religion.
religion in it.
You know, it's inherent in our community.
Okay, so
But-
you're LDS, you can't help it, you're proud of it, and there is